All right, let's talk about growing your email list because I can and I have talked about all of the things you can put in your newsletter, how often to send it, all of the things that you can do to keep your subscribers engaged. And I just recently realized I have yet to do a video on how to grow your email list, which is kind of important because it doesn't matter who you send it to if the only person you're sending it to is yourself, which, by the way, that's your first tip, which I've probably covered before, but it always bears repeating. Subscribe to your own newsletter. That way, when you're doing the A/B testing and seeing what works and what doesn't, you can open it as a subscriber as people get it in their inbox, and you can check it on desktop, on laptop, on all of your mobile devices, on PC, on Android, on Mac, all of the things. Make sure it works on all of the things and everything opens and all the links work the way they're supposed to. If they don't work, that could be a problem. So make sure you subscribe to your own newsletter so you can stay on top of that and check for those things. And if there is an issue, you can get on top of it right away. So let's talk about how to get people on your newsletter. Number one, what are you doing? Why should I care? It's the eternal question in marketing. Why? Why do I care? What is this going to do for me? Let people know why they should subscribe. And it doesn't have to be a big, we're doing this and we're doing all these wonderful things and you're going to get such and such. No, that they're not going to read that. Mine, for example, is marketing tips delivered bi-weekly to your inbox, straight to your inbox. It tells the people what they're going to get. It's not super specific because I do cover a lot of, marketing and SEO. It doesn't talk about the fact that there's a blog post and a video and whatever else I'm promoting. It's marketing tips every other week. That's another important point of setting expectations, letting people know how often they're going to get it. And again, I've talked before about how frequently to send. I will dip a little into it now as far as how frequently you can send. Weekly is a pretty good number. Like I said, I do bi-weekly just for my own sanity because I was doing it every week for a while and it got to be too much. I couldn't keep up with it and all of the things that going on in my business. So I pulled back to every other week. Definitely no less than once a month. Less than once a month, people forget about you. They forget they subscribed, and when they forget they subscribed and they get this random email, then they unsubscribe. So bi-weekly or weekly, those are probably the two most common options. You can do it every day. There are people who will subscribe to a daily newsletter. I've subscribed to a daily newsletter. There are companies that email me multiple times a day, and I put up with it because I like their stuff. So if what you provide is what they're looking for, then by all means, go ahead and do it as frequently as you can manage. We're making sure that it's going to be consistent. I make that promise to my subscribers. It's going to be every other week, right? And it is. It comes out every Wednesday morning, no matter what I'm doing. So know your value proposition. What's going in there? Why do they care? Next up, the sign-up form. So it's going to be obviously you need their email address. I also recommend you ask for their name so that when you send it to them, you can fill in that little thing that fills out their name for them. Just make sure that it gets it right. I cannot tell you how many times I have gotten emails addressed to Miss Halen. That is not my name. That is part of my last name. It is not my name. So I always delete those right away because I know those are coming from robots. Allison misspelled is another one that gets chucked straight in there. So make sure that you are getting their name correctly. So you got their name, their email address. Most of the time I recommend that's it. That's all you need. That's all the information you need. Don't ask for anything more. Most of the time. There have been circumstances where I have wanted the free download, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I really want this report. I really want this information they're giving, and they make me fill out like a page worth of stuff. Know that if you do that, there are going to be a whole lot of people who go, I don't want it that badly. And they're just going to click away and they're not going to finish filling out the form and they're not going to get the download. Maybe that's okay. There are instances where you're like, we want this download to go to people who are really committed and we want to get as much information about them and their company and their pain point as we can. Because that way we know people on this list, people who downloaded this, are committed. They're really interested. They took the time to fill out this whole form. They told us all about themselves. They got the download. That means they probably actually read the download or watched or listened to or whatever the download was. They actually consumed it instead of going, "Oh yeah, that looks interesting. I'll grab that." And they download it and they forget about it and they never get around to it. If they really want it and they filled out all that stuff, they're going to look at it. And that shows a very high level of engagement. That is a high quality lead. That's a lead that is getting ready to buy, if not already ready to buy. So there are times when it makes sense to have a really long sign up form. But if you're just trying to grow your list and get more people on your list and get more of those email addresses, the shorter you make it, the faster and easier. Easy is key. Make it super easy. Don't tell them to go here and then click here and then go over there and then fill out this thing and then push this button, but not that button because it has to be this button and then they have to do this other thing. The more steps you give them, the less likely they're going to be to do it. So if you're just trying to get more emails, just ask for their email address and their name. And that's it. That's all you need. Start with your existing audience. Reach out to real people. Reach out to your referral partners. Those are huge. Reach out to your existing clients. Reach out to past clients, assuming you had a good relationship with them and you didn't fire them and they didn't fire you and things are bitter between you. Obviously, it should be people that you have or had a good relationship with and say, "Hey, would you be interested in subscribing to my newsletter? Or do you know of anyone who would be interested? If so, go here." Talk it up on social media, talk it up at networking events, talk it up in your coffee dates and your one-on-ones with people, in conversations with clients. If it comes up naturally, I have this happen all the time where I like connecting with other marketers. And because we're marketers, we all have a newsletter and we are all talking up our newsletters. So our conversations frequently end with, "Hey, please add me to your newsletter and can I add you to mine?" And I'm more than happy to say yes, A, because they just offered to become a subscriber of mine. And B, obviously I'm a marketer. I like getting more marketing content. And if it was a good conversation and I like the person, yeah, I want to keep up with them. I want to see what's new in their business and I want those updates. So don't be afraid to just ask people in a one-on-one conversation, "Hey, would you be interested in, or can I add you to my newsletter? Or should I send you the link?" You can go in if you're using something like MailChimp or Constant Contact. You can go in and manually add email addresses. It will ask you, "Do you have permission to do this?" And you'd better have permission to do it. Don't just take a bunch of email addresses and put it in there and go, "Yeah, sure. Of course, all these people want my newsletter." Make sure you actually have that permission first and foremost. So know that is an option that you can do it manually, but I only do it if I have their permission, because to do otherwise, it's just going to piss them off. And then that's a bad relationship. And then they're not going to want your newsletter, even if they may have been interested previously. They're going to unsubscribe and you're going to leave a bad taste in their mouth. So you don't want to do that. Next up, calendar link and email signature. You might be surprised how many people you can get onto your newsletter just through having it in your calendar link. Again, like I said, I talk to other marketers, I talk to prospects, I talk to people who talk to my people, and we usually set something up via calendar link. Sometimes it's their calendar, sometimes it's my calendar. When I did webinars, I had this happen all the time where I would ask in the form, "Hey, can I send bi-weekly marketing updates to your inbox?" I got a surprising number of people who said yes. If they're already meeting with me, if they're already attending my webinar, if they're already attending my event, chances are pretty good they're interested. So take advantage of that. Include it, and again, in your email. It's a passive way to ask everyone that you are emailing to also subscribe to your newsletter. Lead magnets. This is a great way to get people onto your email list. You give them something. It has to provide value. It can't just be like a funny meme or something. It has to be a checklist, an infographic, a video, a short ebook, original research. The original research is usually the one that I'm willing to go the extra mile to get, because I want to get my hands on that data. But that's me. So it has to be something that explains to them how they can do something, or a list of things that they might want to keep in mind. To show you what I've been reading lately, it could be like a survival checklist, right? Do you need a go bag? We all saw the California wildfires, and many of us lived through them. And so a go bag is top of mind for us right now. I would absolutely subscribe to something that gave me a checklist of here are all the things you need in that go bag, right? So that's just an example. It has to be something that provides value, that tells people something they need to know that they are actively looking for information on. And then again, you get their email address and you can keep sending them emails and information. All right. Next up, we're going to talk about pop-ups, and these are really controversial, even in the world of marketing. I saw another marketer recently who said on his blog, and he's 100% right about this, is that 100% of users say that pop-ups are annoying. 100% of marketers say that they work. And he's absolutely right. As a user, I hate a pop-up, especially when I'm trying to engage with a website or see something or read something or watch a video or engage with the content in some way. And I can't because there's a freaking pop-up. On the other hand, I know I've gotten at least one client from my pop-up on my website. And I know because he downloaded that lead magnet and responded to one of the follow-up emails that he got. And that's how I know that he filled out the information on the pop-up. Now, the way I have my pop-up set up is it does not appear until the cursor goes over the browser or the search bar, right? So that's what people tend to do when they are leaving a website. So it doesn't annoy people unless they're on mobile. Nothing I can do about that. Most people, though, use my website on desktop for whatever reason. So it's not really an issue on mobile. But that's how I get around it and use it for, get the best of both worlds. If people are starting to leave, that's when you want to grab them because they might be interested in what you're doing. They're just not going to take action right now. So how do you make sure you capture that lead and you can follow up with them? The answer is that pop-up that says, hey, do you want to get this thing? In my case, it's a lead magnet. In your case, it could just be like, hey, let's stay in touch. If I send out these updates on such and such every, here's how often. Just give me your email address if you are interested in that. And then again, the form that asks for their email address and their name, done. You're done. That if that's something they're interested in, they will fill that out and get that download. So I'm not going to tell you you need a pop-up. I'm not going to tell you don't use a pop-up, whatever you do. I'm just going to say it's controversial and there are people who swear by them and people who swear at them. And some of us do a bit of both. So know what you can get away with when it comes to your audience. Social media, talk it up on social media. You'd be surprised, especially if you have something that you're really proud of and you think a lot of people would be interested. You can send that specific newsletter out into the world via social media. And then people don't have to be a subscriber in order to enjoy it, which I know takes away a little of the, well, then why have subscribers kind of a thing? Or why should they subscribe if they can get it for free? Because they want it in their inbox, because it is so valuable that they want it in their inbox. So absolutely take advantage of social media to spread the word. Partnerships and collaborations, I did just mention, you might want to reach out to when you're meeting with someone, you want to get on their email list, they want to get on your email list. That's a great trade. The next step would be, hey, would you be interested in me writing one of your newsletters for you? And then you can also write one of my newsletters for me. Obviously, you should know their audience. They should know your audience. But that is a great way for you both to grow your audience, because then in the newsletter say, hey, if you want more information from me, here's my newsletter over here. You can subscribe over there. They're already subscribed to that other person's newsletter. They're not going to unsubscribe. But then if they like what you see, if they like what they see that you put in there, they might be willing to subscribe to your newsletter as well and get more juicy information like that from you. And then vice versa. You can promote the other person in your newsletter. They can grow their audience without taking any subscribers from you. Again, assuming this is not someone who's a competitor of yours. If they're a competitor doing the same stuff and you tend to work with the same people, then yeah, that might be an issue. You might not want to do that. But those referral partners could be a great opportunity for collaboration and just spreading the good word. Say, hey, could you, spread the good word for me about this, include this link in your newsletter, let people in your audience know about it. I had that happen just recently. Someone I hadn't heard from in ages sent me an email with a link and just asking me to share it with my audience, which I was more than happy to do. And then also led to me reaching out to him and saying, hey, we haven't talked in forever. Let's talk. So that went really well. So reach out to those people, even if you hadn't talked to them in forever. Say, hey, I have this new thing. I have a new newsletter. Would you mind helping me promote it? Would you mind letting your audience know about it? And it doesn't have to be a new newsletter. It can be old, but having a reason to reach out to someone and say, hey, would you mind sharing this with your audience? You'd be amazed at how many people will be more than happy to have something to put in their newsletter. I know that's something I struggle with all the time. Is I need something to put in my newsletter. Referral programs, you can offer your audience a referral, a little treat if they either if they refer someone to you, a friend or a family member, or everyone who refers someone can get put into a lottery, and then they all get something. It could be something as basic as an Amazon gift card or a Starbucks gift card or whatever. It could also be a little something that promotes your business. It could be a copy of your book. It could be a free ticket to your next paid webinar, right? If it's or a course or whatever it is you're promoting. You can absolutely get away with promoting your own stuff, because if these people are subscribed to your newsletter, they are already interested in your stuff. They have already expressed interest by subscribing to your newsletter. It could be a sneak peek at something that you're working on. So absolutely take advantage of those referrals. Let those be your word of mouth warriors. Let them spread the good word for you so you don't have to do all of the promoting. And last but not least, include it as a call to action. The very last thing on your blog post, I do it on my blog posts, also sometimes in my LinkedIn newsletters and my other posts, is to say, hey, if you want more information like this, sign up for my newsletter. Again, depending on your audience, I know for me, a lot of people might read my blog post, love the content, not be ready to buy yet. So I want to make sure that they don't click away without me getting their email address. So one of those ways is to make sure that it's included as the call to action at the end of my blog post. And another way is, like I said, that pop-up. So that's it. That's all the tips I have for you today on growing your email list. If you think of any that I forgot, please let me know. I would love to see that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can do so in the comments right here, and then I can answer it publicly. Or if you don't want other people to know what you're struggling with, you can reach me directly at info@AV Writing Services, as in my initials right there, Allison Verhalen. That is avwritingservices.com, and you can get lots more information like this over on that website. Again, that is avwritingservices.com. That's it. Have a great weekend. Happy blogging, everyone.